afternoon. Hello, Benisa. How are you?
Good afternoon, Paul. I'm busy. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Busy is good. Very good. That's good. Busy is good. Busy is good.
For
Yeah.
a real estate agent, maybe. For me, not so much.
Oh, I hear you. I
I'm
hear
just kidding.
you. You guys have a
This
lot of stuff
year,
going on.
yeah, this year has been something else, honestly. So many projects we're working on, so many things we're trying to provide for our clients and help them. And, everything is happening all at once. So just hoping to see the end of the line one day.
Yeah, well, for sure. For sure. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Well, it's all good. And thanks for having me today with this. Training. This is a really good one. I love how you guys brought it up. It's like, what is the difference between a transactional realtor and a relationship building realtor? That's such a good question,
Thank you.
huh?
Oh, our copywriter, you see why we're so busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, while we're waiting for some folks to come on, get settled in, we definitely are going to need to participate in this kind of training today. So I'd like to kind of like test the feel out there and give me two people that would like to come up and kind of tell us your name and why you're here and how long you've been a realtor.
I'm seeing some new names, so let's see if they will be willing to talk to us.
Yeah, we want to test the
Michael
mic,
here.
test the mic, test the mic.
I'm
Test the
seeing
mic.
Michael here, so if Michael is willing to join us, you can unmute yourself, Michael, and tell us something about yourself.
Thank you.
I don't think Michael wants to talk to us.
Oh my, yes he does. Come on, yes he does. Jim is here, but Mike, you have to unmute your mic. Mic check. Michael Van Vasily. Vincili. I like that. Yeah. Okay, what about you, Jim? You guys have to unmute yourself and check the mics and make sure that you're able to participate because I'm going to really need your input in order for us to really have strong learning today. Jasper.
I'm just adding people at random, hoping someone will want to talk to us.
Oh, no way. Well, okay. Well, you know what? I'm not going to speak. Nobody wants to speak? Well, I'm not speaking then. Let's just finish this. Rex.
Sorry, I was just finishing up on a phone call there. So this is Jim, yeah, from Jim from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Wow. Hi, Jim. Thanks for being here. How long have you been a realtor?
30 years.
What? We have a veteran in the house. So, I could imagine when someone posed a question to you, what do you think is the difference between, name one or two things, what's the difference between a transactional real estate agent and a relationship building agent? What would you say?
Well, I find a transactional real estate agent, you become a transactional real estate agent if you become busy and you don't set up a process to still keep good relationships going because you feel the relationship part of the process is no longer important, and then you fall off a cliff. As far as the relationship part of it is continuing to follow up with them on about a 3 to 6 month basis. Try to get to know them as much as possible, and also during the initial process is asking what their end result is for the next 5 years and then the next 10 years, and helping them to maybe meet their long term goals and staying in that kind of contact.
All right. Okay. It's very good input. Thank you very much. And so we address you as Jim, but it's not Rex, right? Rex is Jim.
No, I should be Jim. Did it come up as Rex?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but no, it should be
Oh,
Jim.
there's another Rex that he's also unmuted, so maybe you're seeing both, Paul. It's Jim on my end.
Okay, okay, Jim. Yeah, thank you. Jim,
Hmm.
thanks a lot for that input. Anybody else want to kind of tell us where you are and how long you've been a realtor? Jasper?
Okay, okay.
Go right ahead, Jasper. How long have you been a realtor? What are you guys doing here? Nobody wants to talk? You just want to listen? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, anyone. If you want to speak, just go ahead and put your hands up. And Benisa, you'll pay attention, please, because I won't. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul R. Atkinson, and I am here to talk to you about today my wheel of success that I've used for more than 30 years to generate more and more business and to get constant referrals. Just, being that value added type of salesperson. So, I'm going to talk to you today about what you should be doing, and I'll also talk to you about what are some of the things that you could do different if you're not doing it already. So I'm welcoming you again. Agent Locator is one of the really best CRMs I've ever seen out there, to be honest, because I have it myself, and I get my SEOs and a lot of leads coming in. So it's important that you recognize that. And Successful Business Academy is where I work. So let's take a look at these slides as we move forward. Tell us, right? And I asked, Jim came up and Jim says, hey, you know what? How do we differentiate between a transactional realtor and a relationship building realtor? So, just as a test right now, can everybody see the screen that it says transactional realtor? Just put your hands up or just let Benisa know. Is everything good? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, excellent. So let's take a look because we have quite a bit to go through today. What is a definition of a transactional broker? Well, some of the things that come to my mind as a transactional realtor would be that there's no real connection with the clients. This transactional type of realtor, consider if you are or if you're not, that you really don't have a connection with the client. You're just like, hey, how can I help you? Like, I see that you're looking for property in this area. What do you want? How low? If I could find something for you today, would you be willing to move forward on? It sounds like a car salesman, right? You're really not asking the person anything about them or noticing anything about them to connect with them. And I'm going to talk to you about some techniques that you can use. So, a transactional realtor is one that perhaps has no real connection with the clients. Another thing we could perhaps consider is that, you might be feeling more for the money, honey. You might feel like, what, this is a $1 million deal. I want to make that 30 to 20 to $30,000. And you know what? This is I can really feel that. I don't really feel for that person or that buyer or that seller. I have no feelings for that. I feel for the money. I want the money. Perhaps that. They're also they 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 do not have or maintain a proper CRM. And some of you who may not know what a CRM means. I don't want to insult your intelligence if you do, but for those of you who don't, a CRM is a customer relationship management system. So a transactional broker or realtor might not have one today. And, you know, a transactional realtor perhaps also lives on high stress. They're really stressed out. So think about that. Are you highly stressed? A transactional realtor, they dip in and they dip out of the business. So this month they're selling cars or selling furniture, or they're working at the school board, or they're working at the nurse, or they're working at this, or they're working at that. Christmas time, they're a realtor because somebody wants to buy something. So they dip in, they dip out, dip in, dip out. What are some of the things to look for if you are a relationship building realtor or if you want to become one? Well, take a look. You should have a strong connection with your client. And how do you get connected with a client? Well, we'll talk about that as we continue on. We're going to give you some proven techniques that have worked for more than 30 years. You should also have a daily plan already set the day before. So you see, tomorrow's Friday. You already have a plan tonight before you go to sleep on what you're going to do. And that's a relationship building realtor. Interesting. You also have a plan for all four elements in the what we call the nuclear mind. The nuclear mind is something that's atomic, it's like self-starting, self-generating. The nuclear mind is just something that is always motivated. The nuclear mind is a person that's able to spark or start motivation within themselves and actually keep that motivation going. And there's four elements to planning for that. And we're going to show you a little bit about that as we proceed. A relationship building realtor maintains high PMA. And you might want to write this down. What is PMA? It's a high positive mental attitude. And we're going to show you a little bit more about that as we proceed. A relationship building realtor also has selling skills. They have some sort of selling system in place now, and they plan for this as they move along throughout their career. Now,
Can I interrupt you for a second, Paul?
sure, absolutely.
We have Jim in the chat saying two things actually. Number one, that usually the big teams are very transactional. And number two, that a big part of that relationship, basically the realtor is the one who needs to let the client know that it is a long-term relationship rather than, that client thinking it's only going to be a transaction. So that's also a big part of it for sure.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. And that was a comment from Jim, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jim, thank you so much. Absolutely. And you're right, how do you make a connection? And pay attention to that and that's why you have a CRM, because you're going to maintain the relationship. You're going to remember their birthdays. You're going to remember holidays, and you're going to greet them, and you're going to give them a place that they can come to on your website. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we move on. But thanks a lot. Yeah. Please, anytime you guys feel like you want to interject, this is interactive. So feel free. So in the next 60 minutes, what we're going to talk about and what we're going to learn today is how to influence, persuade, and seduce your clients, how to be that relationship building client, type of realtor. You want to make sure that your clients, they feel good about you and they could always remember you when they think of real estate. You're going to learn how to, when I say influence, when I say persuade, when I say seduce your clients, I don't mean seduce in a sexual way. I mean seduce where they actually see you have this persona and they say, man, you know what? I really like being around Jim. I really like being around Mary, because of you're recognizing their, let's say, traits as a human being, and you're just blending in with it in an honest way, mimicking them perhaps, but in an honest way. And I'm going to talk to you about it as we keep going on. It's your choice, and for you, when you analyze this today and look whether you are transactional or you are relationship building, it's your choice, and it's all up to you. I know I've made mine in the past 20 years, and it has worked. More than that, actually. It's like 30 years. So we're going to see what's working today, and we're going to give you like a fast track on some techniques that will work. So get ready to write things down. And at the end, you have a gift, of course, where you will see the opportunity to have a one-on-one call. So who am I? Who am I? I want to tell you a little story, and then we'll go into this. So that's me over there, guy on the right, look like Muhammad Ali, my grandmother used to say. But I was in the United States Navy as a second class petty officer here, as you could see. I rose to the rank as a first class petty officer, which is what my supervisor there, Bob, has. He has 3 stripes, I have 2. But I fell into the Navy recruiting system, I guess, by accident. But it came to be my love, and it came to be my true passion, and it came to be my something that I'm really good at back in 1993. But here is what I learned about being a transactional person or relationship person, building person as a salesperson. I learned that when I started in my sales business in 1993, I couldn't get anybody to join the Navy. I sucked. I mean, I really was in my 20s. I actually cried, physically cried. And I was like, man, I can't believe this. I was an electrician for 7 years. Now they put me out here with these civilians and I can't close anybody. And I kind of figured it out that, listen, you know what? Don't be so robotic. You've got to build relationships. And I started to build my relationships. And over 7 years, I became one of the top salesperson and maintained that. The techniques that I've used to build the relationships and to maintain my persona is in both my books. I've written two books. The one on the top is called The Five Steps to the Sale, and the one on the bottom is called The Art and Science of the Real Estate Agent. Day one, close the deal. I've used these techniques to be in the 1%, top 1% nationally in most of my selling arenas. I've sold real estate, I've sold life insurance, sold cars, I've sold computers, you name it all. Does it work? Yes, it's proven techniques. And we're going to talk about them in a little bit. So it's your choice. I know I made my choice. In 1993, over 30 years ago, when I became a salesperson, I made my choice. I was failing and I wanted to be a good salesperson. So I chose to be a relationship building salesperson. Now, what is that? Let's take them on one at a time. How do you learn how to build a strong connection with a client? Some of the things that you can do is number one, use the association technique, the mirroring technique, or psychological reciprocity. But let's not cloud your mind right now. What am I talking about? I'm talking about things from my book, right? Perhaps, or maybe some of the coaching that I do or courses. Let's just pick one today and make it simple. Association technique. When you speak to someone, like for example, let's say I'm going to call Jim. Ring, 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 ring. Hey, Jim, is this Jim? Hi, Jim. Thank you for taking my call. I'm Paul Atkinson. I must tell you, I'm the best realtor right here in the community, but I do love your name, Jim, because the guy that I worked with in the Navy, his name was Jim. It's an association that I make, honestly. It's not making it up. I'm not lying. I call a guy named Paul. I'm going to be like, okay, Paul, we have the same name. What do you associate with? Okay, let's give it a little bit more. Let's say you go on a listing appointment with a seller and you see that the seller has like something in the house that you're aware of, like a suede, let's say a velvet couch. Then make a comment on it. Wow, I like a velvet couch too. Or I see where you got a couch just like me, or you know what, the velvet feels so good on your skin. Something to that effect. You have to associate. And I could go on and on and on. But you should always make a connection. If you don't have a connection, there's no way that you're going to close that person very easily. Be very difficult, in a matter of fact. So you always want to make a connection. If you're going to build a relationship, you always want to have a daily plan already set from the day before. Why is that? What does it have to do with building relationships? Well, you could get overwhelmed with building relationships because it involves a lot of things, a lot of efforts. So you want to make sure that you're planning to balance yourself, your attitude, because it's a very big picture. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more as we move on. How do you plan for four particular elements, which is plan for your family, plan for your health, plan for your spirituality, and plan for your career? How do you do that? That's what a nuclear mind is, and that's what I'm introducing you to at the moment. We're going to show you just a little bit how to do that. How do you learn to maintain a positive mental attitude? That's like when something comes in your mind that's negative or something happens to you, negative in the transaction, you don't get angry. You don't start to spiral down this negative path that, oh my gosh, I knew this inspection was going to, I just know it was going to be. How do you prevent these things? How do you mitigate for that? I'm going to give you some techniques in a little bit that you can learn how to do that. How do you build on your selling system right now? You know, Jim has been in the business 30 years. I mean, this is a guy that has to be successful because he's been around that long. And what selling system does he have? Who mentors you? Who coach you? What system do you have to get a person to actually listen to you, the buyer, to follow your advice, to follow your guidance in making the offer? What selling system do you have when the seller says, no, I don't want to counter back? No, I don't want to move forward with this offer. How do you persuade them? It's very important. And there's more. How do you learn to discipline of getting data mining under your belt? And what is data mining? Data mining is when you capture name, email, phone number, or name, email, whatever you can from a prospect, from a client, and you never let it go. You actually take that and put it into your CRM, your customer relationship management system. And you store that data for many years to come. And you organize that data. Sellers are on this side, buyers are on this side, investors are on this side. It's very important that you have the discipline to do that. Many, many years ago, when I started my real estate brokerage firm about 10, 13 years ago, 2013 actually, the consultant said to me, Paul, in order for you to be successful with your real estate brokerage firm, you guys are going to have to do data mining. I said, what's that? Today, Benisa can testify. Benisa, when I came over to Agent Locator last year, can you tell this group of people here, beautiful people, tell them approximately how many people were in my database? Do you remember? Do you remember?
Oh, 30,000 or more?
Mm, say it
That was
again. Say it again.
30,000.
And so Agent Locator had to take a moment to build the thing for us because what did I do? I listened. I guess I was a military guy. 30,000 people from South Florida. That means if a buyer was at Century 21 strolling around, more than likely I got their name and email. If a buyer was at Remax or wherever, it doesn't matter. If a buyer in South Florida, I never let go. Some people will tell you, "Oh, if this lead is not responding, then just trash it." Are you crazy? Don't do that. Do not do that. That's not relationship building. You want to maintain it. I have a seller right now, Miss Sylvia, that emailed me about 2 months ago. And she says, Paul, I'm ready to sell my condo on the beach and I want to buy a new one. When I looked up her data inside of my CRM, guess how long I've been like dripping holiday greetings to her? 4 years. 4 years. And that transaction is right now, we put it all together. She's buying something for 700,000. She's selling something for 600,000. How much money is that? Talk about the commissions. Maybe over $30,000. So I break it down over 4 years. Is it worth it? Data mining is the key. And how do you get the discipline to capture data? Name, email, phone number. But not just capture it, but nurture the leads. That's very important. I can't go too much in depth on it, but I could at least introduce you to it. A relationship building realtor, you've got to be present. And when I say be present, I mean this is how you build a relationship. Eye contact, listening on the phone. If they said on the phone, oh, I would like to get a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, open plan, write it down. Use the language they use. I want a big yard with a fence. I need it to be in Ottawa because my mother in law lives there. Write it down and then reconfirm. Be present in the conversation. So when they finish telling you, you're going to repeat it. Oh, okay. So what you're saying is you want a 3 bedroom, 2 bath in west side of Ottawa because your mother-in-law is there, and then it should have a fence and da 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 da. That builds trust. That builds the relationship. Very interesting. Can't go in deep depth on that, but the nuclear mind. When we say plan for all four, what in the world are we talking about? What is this? What's this flag? Well, this flag is inside of my book, both books. And the nuclear mind talks about you planning. Just imagine when you plan for your day, you're going to say, okay, inside of my calendar, what do I have for today on my family? Is it that you put on your calendar my daughter's soccer game, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., or dinner with the family from 7 to 8? What is on your calendar that talks about family? Career. Okay, that's easy. Oh, I'm going to make phone calls. I'm going to knock on doors. I'm going to have this listing appointment. That's easy. No problem. You got that. You probably got that all the time. Spirituality. What is your spirituality? Whatever it is, we just want you to put it on your planner. So in the morning, are you doing something for your spirituality, some kind of meditation or some kind of reading of some kind of spiritual book that you do? What makes you you? What? Every single day, you have to plan for that. Health on your calendar. Do you have something for health? Do you have something for health? Like drink some green juice, take a walk, drink plenty of water, go to lunch. Simple, like lunch. I remember this when I started about 13 years ago with the brokerage firm. It was very difficult to start to get a whole bunch of 20, 40 realtors to manage and to help them. And I actually forgot to eat lunch. I was not eating lunch. It was 5, 6 o'clock. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I've been with Jim. I've been with Sarah. I was trying to help this one right here to make the plan and that, and I forgot to eat. So what did I do? I said, okay, I'm right on my, I'm gonna write on my calendar lunch, 30 minutes, and I block it out. So it has to be written down. And that's what it means when we say you should plan for all four with a nuclear mind. Now, I want to do a little bit of poll before we go into the next phase, because here what we're talking about is building relationship. And how can you balance things out? Are you doing this now? Have you ever heard about this before? Would you consider to do this? What benefit could it bring to you if you actually respected these four elements in your life? If you tried it, what could happen? The people who have tried it, I could tell you, it works. Now, let's just ask yourself right now on a scale of 1 to 10, because now we're going to get into something that you really need, and that is your selling skills, because you are a salesperson. If you would in the chat tell us on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least effective with your selling skills, 10 being the most effective on your selling skills. I'm going to look in the chat. Tell me, what would you rate yourself right now? Anyone out there that would think about, and this is to everyone. 6. Samir says he's a 6, or she, I apologize, Samir. Him, 6, okay, that's very high. That's very good. 6 is good. What would it take for you to get from a 6 to a 10? Why would you want to be a 10? Is a 10 good for your career? Yeah, right? Who else? Does anybody else can tell us what do you feel your selling skills are? Well, Benisa, I'll let you pay attention and I'll continue on. Is that okay?
We have two things from Jim.
Yeah.
One is actually something that you always say about building your rapport with them, and Jim just mentioned how listening between the lines to their wants and needs and asking the questions about them is great for conversation building. I mean, I've heard you say the same sentence pretty much 1,000 times now.
Yeah.
So we can see that
Jim,
guys who are veterans in the industry already have, your proven
that's
things that are definitely working. And another thing that Jim said before that, which I found interesting, and we also discussed this on our masterclass webinar we did at the end of last year. And I remember you and Bev were talking a lot about providing value with the things that you send out to your leads. And Jim is now saying that one of the issues he finds is that social media has diluted the importance of report building and report maintaining activities because clients are bombarded with online marketing and all of the emails they're receiving and everything like that. And we touched upon that on me a bit on our master class, but maybe if you want to, add
Yeah,
something to that? How you
sure.
how do you basically make sure to build that rapport still, even with all of the automated listings, emails, and everything else that's going out automatically from your CRM? Like, where do you find that human to human interaction rather than something just being automated and done for you?
This is wonderful. Wonderful question and wonderful observation. And it's going to bring us into the next slide. Jim, there is a proven technique that illustrates exactly what you're talking about with want, needs, and DBM, dominant buying motive. And in the 5 steps of the selling system, that system helps you as an individual to follow a particular step, how to get a client to close with you. And it's intricate, very, very intricate. And let's take a look at it now. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about the circle of success here at Successful Business Academy. What is your circle of success? Are you aware? Are you aware that inside of the sales arena, 45% being a salesperson comes from your mindset, your success, your ability to close a deal. 45% of it comes from your mindset, your attitude, whether you believe you can or you can't. 45%. The other 45% is your ability to persuade and influence someone, your selling skills, getting connected with that person, getting them to like you, getting them curious, getting a great presentation to them, and then closing them on their own. The least amount is product knowledge. Do you think you need to know if that's a shingle roof or a barrel roof, or if that is like travertine marble or regular marble? No, that's not going to close the deal. It helps. It's helpful, but your attitude right here and your ability to like give a selling presentation is the key. And we wanted to discuss that. Now, let's talk about selling, right? Because you got your mindset. The mindset comes from like, the nuclear mind, how you get up in the morning and you kind of ask yourself, what are you feeling right now? And then you say, hey, I feel good, I feel bad. And then you kind of say some affirmations or you say a mantra that pumps you up. And then you do what's called a PE exercise, positive expectations. You envision that your day is going to be a success. You have to have come into your day with a mindset every single day. And then you have to have the ability to carry your clients through a process. And Jim, this is what we're talking about right here. Step one is for you to get your client to like you, to listen to you, to trust you, and to believe in you. You're putting your prospects at ease and you're getting them to like you, listen to you, trust you, and believe in you. So, how do you do that? Well, when you connect with someone by using association technique, mirroring technique, or some kind of technique, and they really say, get them to say, I like you, I like you, I like you. You know what? You're pretty cool. Get them to like you, whichever way you can. There's techniques to do it, and I can't go into them right here, but just get them to like you. After you get them to like you, that's one step inside of step one. The second thing is to do a fact find. That's where you get their want, their need, and their DBM, dominant buying motive. It's an emotion. This might sound crazy, but watch this. I'm going to break it up for you. Hi, Miss Benisa. Thank you so much. You were referred to me by Ado, and I look forward to working with you. You said that you wanted to buy a home. Can you tell me what do you want to see in your home, Miss Benisa? Go ahead, Benisa. Just tell me.
A pool.
Okay, you want a pool? Okay. Is there what else would you like? Like how many bedrooms? Like what are you looking
I'm
for?
okay with 3 bedrooms, two
Three,
baths.
3 bedrooms, too bad. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Big
Anything else?
closet space.
Big closet. Okay, big closet. Got it. Anything else? Like if I was your seamstress and I was gonna make your dress for you, most beautiful dress, tell me all about what you want in that home. Please.
Well, not necessarily with a dress, but with a house, a lot of windows. I want a lot of natural lighting
Natural lighting. Okay, got it.
and open concept, and that will be it.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I got it. So what you're saying is you want a three-bedroom, two bath, you want a pool, you want big closets, and not a lot of natural lighting. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful. Miss Benisa, tell me, I'm so delighted and I'm getting so excited. Tell me, what do you need in order to find this home? What do you need?
To find the one,
Okay, but sure, but what do you need just to find one? What does that mean? Like, how can we find it for you? Like, what do you think you need?
it needs to have all of the things I've listed and it needs to feel right for me, nothing else, honestly.
Ah, so it should feel right. I've got that, and that's important. So you want a feeling, it needs to feel right. So when I take you into the home, I should be looking for a feeling from you, right? That's what you're saying, yes?
100%, yes.
Got it, got it. I am very excited because once I get this home that you feel right in, and we go forward to secure that home, let's say we do get it, how would that make you feel? I just want to celebrate it with you. How would that make you feel?
Happy and accomplished.
Happy and accomplished. I'm going to write that down because I want you to be happy. Okay, got it. Now, Miss Benisa, is there anybody else that actually needs to be a part of the decision making process with you?
Just me.
Just you. Okay, good. Folks, that's a sample of step one. You've got to connect with her. I made a connection because her, someone that we both know named Ado, and I kind of skipped through the connection part just to fast things up for, speed things up for you. But notice what we did here. We made a connection. We got them to like me, listen to you, trust you, and then you find out what do you want, what do you need, how you're gonna feel, and then you get the authority to buy. Like, is there anybody else involved? And then you just move on into the next step of the sale. The next step is curiosity. And this is where you get the person curious to see your proposal. So I'll say, Benisa, Miss Benisa, I am so happy to tell you I'm going to send you an email, a couple of emails of some beautiful properties, three-bedroom, two-bath, with a pool. And now I can't really filter for big closets, but please don't get mad at me if you see a small one in there. Is that okay with you? But it's going to be a great list of properties. Yes?
It's going to be okay. I'm going to look at it.
Ah, wonderful. Notice my energy. I kind of uplift my energy a little bit. You got to make them curious to get information from you. And you could do this even in a phone call when you're calling a new cold lead. Make them curious when you connect with them. I can't go into all of that deeply right now, but let's say you call someone and you're like, hello, thank you very much. My name is Paul Atkinson. I'm with PR and Company Realtors. I really appreciate the opportunity to work with you. This will only take about 5 minutes. I know that you're wanting to find a property here in South Florida. Is this a good time? I really have some great options, but I'm not sure if it'll work for you. Is this a good time? It'll take just 5 minutes. I made that prospect curious. I said to them, I really have some great options. Am I lying? I'm not lying. The MLS have over 3,000 properties. I'm not lying. I could use that script for everybody, but you got to make the prospect curious. Next step is the conviction. This is where your prospect will justify buying your proposal because you are presenting to them what they want to see. So now I go out with Miss Benisa and I say, Miss Benisa, today we're going to show you three houses. And these three houses, they do one of this one right here. I remember it because I looked at the picture. It has a pool. It has three-bedroom, two bath. It does have some closets in there. Look at that as I'm walking it through with her. Wow, look at the closets. Wow, look at the natural lighting. You got to be present. You got to remember. This is relationship building. She will have such an amazing experience. You know what? Paul really listened to me. She'll never forget it. But how do you build this practice? How do you build this? How do you become this relationship type of person? Very interesting. You could do it. But first, you have to break those old habits and you have to form new habits. You have to get new techniques and throw away the old techniques if they're not working. Step four is desire. And what is desire? Is it desire meaning that you're looking to create desire? Well, you could say that. Yeah, step four is desire. It is objection handling. It's where you are actually If someone says to you, you know what, I don't think I'm ready to make the offer yet. I need to see some more homes first. You should know how to handle that person, that objection. Okay, I can understand how you feel. Others have felt that way. And that brings up a question. The question is, you're just not ready right now to make offers. You want to see more properties. Is that what you're saying? So you restate the objection into a question. So that person psychologically can say, well, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Or yes, that's true. And you can confirm with them. But these are techniques and they work. And finally, step 5 is close. And there's a secret to close. And you must know the secret to close. And closing, when you think of closing someone, they actually tell you, oh, you know what? I'm ready to make an offer. Oh, you know what? I really can see myself here. I can see the TV over there. Yeah, I want to work with you. These are little cues, and you have to know when to do it. So it's very important. So I'm going to continue on because I see that the audience is very strong and everyone is listening. The 5 steps to the sale is a proven technique. There is a book on it. There is a coaching program on it, a 12-week course on it. I'm not here to solicit you to come into our course. I'm here to make you aware. And for those of you who want to get this, it's available to you. Just reach out to us. But the proven techniques that work, once again, 5 unique steps. You must do step 1. Then you do step 2. Then you do step 3. Then you skip step 4 because that's objections. You don't want objections. Nobody's going to object to you. When you do step 1, 2, and 3, very good. The buyer, the seller says, yes, make the offer. Yes, I'll take that offer. Yes, you hear, yes, yes, yes. And they close. But you have to connect. A little known fact. Here are some facts. And this is from Harvard Business Review, a guy named Steve W. Martin. 7 reasons salespeople like you and me don't close a deal. Number 1, they say that we are not trusted or respected. How do you build trust? How do you get respect? They say we can't converse effectively. Do you know how to have a conversation? You are a salesperson. Do you know how to use the association technique? Walk into a room and feel comfortable with your heart not beating fast. Just relax. And you see somebody with a nice blazer, you said, oh, look at this guy. This guy went in my closet and took my blazer out of there. And laugh about it. This lady has such an amazing purse. I've seen my sister with it. How do you associate? I can go on and on. You could put me in any scenario and I could just feel comfortable to associate with them and have a good conversation. And to find out after I build the trust with them, how are you able to find out their wants, needs, and their DBM? They say that we can't clearly explain our solution for the prospect. So, for example, Vanessa says she wants 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool, big closets, natural lighting. If I don't recognize that and repeat it back and actually show it to her, then she will think I'm a fraud. But if I said to her, hey, you know what, Vanessa, this has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, the pool, it doesn't really have the big closets, but I was thinking that IKEA has these other beautiful closets. We have the square footage. Maybe we could put some over here, like, some other closet space. Or maybe we could just build one in this big bedroom right here. I have a handy guy named Jim. You come in and do that. Explain. It's interesting. These are just samples. They say that we're self-centered. Realtors are big like that. Nope, that's not a good idea. No, you can't put that over there. I mean, we don't even know if it's permitted. And we big self-centered. No, no, you're not. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going to call in an offer. No, I'm going to write it up. I'm not calling it in. That's what we are. Self-centered. You got to relax. You got to go with the flow. When you use psychological reciprocity and give client credit for their belief, they become morally obligated to give you credit for yours. And I won't get deep into that one either. They say we use the wrong closing strategy. The secret to closing someone is knowing when to close. That's it. Because if they're not ready to close, why the heck would you try? You gotta relax. You gotta know when to close. I'm not saying you shouldn't always be trying. You do trial closes along the way. Can you see yourself in this home? Do you feel good about this home? Is this okay for you? It's 2 bedroom with a den. It's not 3 bedroom too bad. Will it work for you? Do you feel it could work? Trial closes. They say that we don't know how to alleviate the risk of the person buying into our solutions. They also say that we don't know how to establish personal connection. Hello, how do you get someone to like you and listen to you? That is quite interesting. So let's continue on. How do we succeed from this? How do we? What we have talked about today, let's bring it all together while we wind up the next 15 minutes, and I'll be open for some chat if you like. We discovered that being a transactional real estate agent versus a relationship building realtor is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Because if we sum it up, if you want to be a transactional real estate agent, well, what's the pros and cons there? Well, I guess maybe you're not going to get much referrals. I guess people won't really remember you. I guess people won't really think of you. Um, I guess you probably don't even have a CRM, and maybe you're in and out of the business here and there. You know, all I know is that most top producers, they are relationship building types of people. So how do you start to transform yourself into getting up in the morning, having the right positive mindset, mitigating and fighting the negative thoughts? How do you transform? You're probably in your 30s, 40s, 50s. We are not children. We're set, dead set. I'm in my 50s. We're very hard to change right now. But if you want to, yes, seek a coach, seek a mentor, seek somebody who can help you to overcome these challenges that you need to overcome. Seek it because you can find it and start to build your relationship building sales business. That's what you should do. We talked about a systematic approach to getting clients to close with you using the 5 steps of the sale or some kind of selling system. Like, know that you need to make a connection first, then you should find out what they want, what they need, what their DBM is, how they're going to feel when they get it. And why do you do that? Is because it's just a psychological thing that helps them to feel good and for you to feel good, knowing what they want. We also talked about how you go from step one, building that connection, finding out all of what they're wanting and their authority to buy and all of this stuff, to making them curious, curious to see your presentation of the homes, curious to see your presentation, listing presentation. Then from there, we talk about conviction, where you make the presentation of the products that you're selling them, whether it's a life insurance policy, a car, a pen, or a house, or a services that you offer for a seller. And then we talk about from that presentation, you do a lot of trial closes and you use your techniques that they just actually say, okay, great, I want to sign up with you right now. Great, I want to make an offer on this one right here. Yeah, let's make an offer. Can we make an offer? How do you do that? We also talked about how to get people keep coming your way and sending referrals. I mean, I've gotten it. It's been 30 years for me. I'm grateful for that. These thing works. My phone rings on a weekly basis, thank God. And someone says, "Hey, Paul, I was referred by blah, 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 blah. Hey, Paul, I've been in your CRM for like this time. You've been sending me stuff." It happened today. There was a lady called me this morning after my walk. She says she needs a 4 bedroom, 2 bath. Yes. Oh, you've been sending me stuff. Yeah. Are you maintaining that CRM? Do you have a CRM? We talked about that. And then finally, we talked about how we can always get people thinking about us first. And there's techniques to doing that. And we talked about it, like making a connection with them and actually remembering their birthdays, remembering the holidays, and just staying in touch with them. And then finally, we talked about the facts and the trends. They don't lie, right? People actually study salespeople, and they say that over 70% of us fail, and that's quite interesting. But what is serendipity? And we're closing with this, and we're going to open up the mic. Serendipity, if you read serendipity, and if you follow through, but serendipity, the definition of this right here, it says the occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. So, what if you choose to be a relationship building type of realtor? What if you understood and know that there's serendipity? And it means that, you're planning for all four. You're planning for your health, you're planning for your family, you're planning for your spirituality, and obviously you're planning for your career. What if you did that every single day? Do you believe or do you think it's a possibility that you could maintain a positive mental attitude all the time? And if you did that, would it lead into serendipity? Like things just happening to you, like you got connected to this universe, that the phones just ring? Yes! Yes! It happens. It's real. So think about this. Being a transactional type of salesperson is phenomenal. Think about the people. Don't think about the money first. The money will come in abundance. And serendipity can happen to you if you practice these techniques. So there's a QR code on the screen right now for those of you who would like 1 hour free coaching. You can have it right now. You click, you just scan the code, and you set up a growth call. There'll be no selling on this call for you to take any of our products or services. It's all about you, our way of giving back to Agent Locator people and our team. So I'm going to open up the mic right now. And if you would like, we have 10 minutes. You can ask me any question you want in the world. Just ask me. So, Benisa, if you would like to open up the mic, I am here, here, here.
And of
Please go
course,
right ahead.
whoever wants to ask Paul something, just make sure to raise your hand and I will give you the permission to talk. And while we're waiting, I actually have one question for you, Paul, maybe two if we have time.
Sure.
So we've talked a lot about building trusts, but let's say you're a brand new agent, you have no transactions behind yourself to basically prove yourself to somebody that you're pitching your services. How can you build trust with clients quickly if you do not have like some sort of proven record? This will sort of like more of a question for us to quickly recap everything we've talked about, but if you could like in 2 sentences give us your
Yeah,
answer to that.
of course, of course. So, building trust is something that you can do quite easily. And I'll just go through it. Like, if you were to look here at the wheel, right? It's in the first step. You're putting your client at ease and you're getting them to like you and to listen to you. Do that first. After you do that, then they can open up to trust you. If they don't like you or they're not listening to you, you cannot get to trust. Now, once you get them to like you, listen to you by you using your techniques or whatever you do, you build trust by getting confirmation from the client. As simple as like, when you're asking them, hey, Benisa, tell me, what is it that you want to see in your next home? Like, how can I help? I was building trust with you when I was repeating it to you word for word. Was I not?
You were?
Didn't you feel good? Like this guy, like subconsciously, you're like, you know what? This guy is listening to me. I think I could trust this guy. The guy said 3 bedroom, 2 bath. The guy says pool. The guy said big closets. The guy says natural light. And the guy says, I'm going to feel good and he wants to celebrate with me. It's a technique. You don't need to be a old agent, like a new agent. It doesn't matter. It's a selling system.
Mm-hmm.
Was that helpful?
100%. And one more thing for you, like building trust and in general being a relationship building agent, in my opinion, takes a lot more time and effort from you rather than being a transactional one. So what's like one suggestion for you on how agents can remain client focused and building those relationships, but while also making sure that they are hitting their sales targets, for example, or if they have like a certain amount of money that they need to make this month to pay their rent, pay their bills and stuff like that. How is it possible for them to put like the transaction aside and focus mostly of that on that relationship building aspect?
All right. I think if they were to plan each day involving the balance, you won't get stressed out. You won't go overboard in any way. And
Mhm.
inside of, let's say, right here, when you talk about your career, inside of this arena, I like to talk. I like to say, what you should do is use an IGA system, income generating activity, and you make a list of things that you can do. So, for example, making phone calls, uh, creating flyers, marketing pieces, just activities that you like to do. And even the ones that you don't like to do are on that list, but you can
100%.
delegate them out. So it's important that when you're wanting to make sure you stay on top of these clients, you really, really, really need a CRM, customer relationship management system, because as you start, maybe, yeah, you have that 5, 10, 15, 20 people, but imagine 21 years in the business, 30 years like Jim, 10, 20, 30,000 people. How can you possibly keep track of that? So in order for you to make sure that you're hitting the mark, do the things that you really like to do on a daily basis by picking from a menu of items, and it's not monotonous. It's like it's something you look and say, today I do feel like making the phone calls. Today I don't feel like making phone calls. I feel like going knocking on the door because I bought a new dress, a new outfit, or the car is clean. I want to drive the car.
Mhm.
It's a human thing. And the IGA helps you to stay motivated and to be on top of it. And when you do that, you can just remember how to be pleasant to people, and the balance comes.
And the balance comes absolutely, especially with time. Like even in the very beginning, when you maybe your mind automatically goes to the transaction itself and the money you're going to get from that. I feel like in the long run, being a relationship oriented agent will give you more because if you build a relationship with clients, you're going to get referrals.
Yeah,
And that is just, a snowball effect right there, and repeat business is coming your way. So
so true. Absolutely.
great thing
Absolutely.
to end the presentation on. If you don't have anything else, Paul, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat nor anywhere else, so we can wrap this up. This was
Wonderful.
awesome.
Well, thank you all. Just remember, today is a good day. And for you, if you're wanting to grow, then obviously you need to change. And if you want to change, you have to transform, because you're already set in your own ways, unfortunately. So if you'd like the opportunity, reach out to us. That's great. Until next time, I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Benisa. I can't wait to
Thank you,
see what the
Paul.
next topic
I'll be
is.
waiting on my listings and my pool.
Hey! We'll get it for you. Thank you so much. It's been a great
Thank
audience.
you,
You guys have a
everyone.
great day.
You,
Cheers.
bye bye.